Hi, this is Rob and Ali sharing with you our passion of all things cruise and travel. Now, luckily, we have never been a couple who have forgotten our passport at home or been pier runners. However, there are mistakes that we still make after all the years of travelling. We do not claim to be experts in any shape or form.
Do you make mistakes?
However... Not that I admit to, or I don't admit them to you. But I'm gonna share them. I'm gonna share them with.
We're
these
talking cruise
guys.
mistakes.
These guys understand.
Okay.
They're with us.
Yes.
So we're not experts, but you think after all the years of sort of travelling and going on cruises that you would have everything down to perfection.
What? No, you never know it all, and that's why we've got like little lists and checklists. And I always do.
I just went down a few inches. Did you do that with your foot? No. Just pop me down a peg or two. There we go. So I'm sure you will relate to one or two of these. Some of them are more serious than others, but nothing has ever been a disaster. So here we go. First up is checking the visa requirements. So this is pretty much around, there's a couple of things on here. So it's visa requirements as well as passports. I am guilty of both.
I'm going to throw insurance in there as well. It's really all your travel documents, isn't it? So making sure you've got the correct documents for your travel.
Yes. But where I've fallen down is, so on the visa requirements, I am a permanent resident in Australia, and therefore I need to have a return visa to actually get back into Australia. So although I'm a permanent resident, I am married to a citizen and my daughter is a citizen. I actually could be refused entry coming back home. I might be allowed. Well, actually, I wouldn't be allowed back in. So I need to apply for a return visa. They only last for, I think it's 5 years, and then you have to resubmit. And mine has run out, and we've already booked a cruise, and the application is in, and oh my God, I'm just hoping that
we'll be chasing that next week.
And yes, we'll be chasing it, and Robert will be chasing me round the house with a frying pan if it doesn't come through. So anyway, hopefully that's all off. But yeah, how could you make such a fundamental mistake? We merrily go off on these cruises, and I just hadn't realised that had come to an end. And the other thing is the passport expiry dates.
On visas though, just before you finish, it's not just your return visa as well. So if just check what country, if the country that you're going to, whether they require a visa for you to travel there. We're fairly lucky in Australia. There's a lot of places that we don't. We're going to Japan. I checked whether we need a visa for Japan. We don't. We end up in Taiwan. We don't need a visa for Taiwan. But
that was the other thing. Yes, we'd booked this cruise that went from Japan to Taiwan, and it was kind of, is that a separate country? What you kind of then realise that the cruise can go to more than one country, and you may require a visa for one. Yeah. None or both.
If you're going overseas, always better check. And it can change. New Caledonia recently changed their requirements for cruise travellers to match their airline travellers. So that's the other thing, is just make sure that the country you're going to, you do or don't require a visa, and allow enough time to get that.
Now another
passports, you were saying.
Yeah, passports. I was very lucky, just like with the visa, kind of by the skin of my teeth, that I required a new passport. Those had plenty of time on it when we actually originally booked the cruise. We booked that, I think it was maybe a year in advance or something, and then of course as time came near, and then realised that you actually needed 6 months on your passport from the date of return. So it's not even from the date of entry, the date of exit, it's the date of return.
Well, yes, because it's to do with the country that you're visiting. It's their requirements, not Australia. You can have 1 day left on your passport coming back into Australia, but it's the country that you're visiting that sets those requirements. So it's from the date that you leave.
And although I am a permanent resident in Australia, I still have a British passport, and it all had to go off to the passport office in the UK by snail mail, and again by the skin of my teeth.
It'd be so much easier if you just became Australian.
The application has been done about 8 years ago. It's just sitting, waiting to, I don't know what it's waiting for. It's just waiting for some other little bits and pieces to add to it. To a more light-hearted one, appropriate footwear. How many times have you read or you've been told to take kind of comfortable footwear, or make sure that your footwear is not brand new, or you have socks if you need socks to stop them rubbing and all that kind of stuff? Yes, we know all that. However, not saying quite often, I have, and you have as well, fallen foul of forgetting to put in appropriate footwear. So this was on one occasion, I don't think we'd even planned to go wherever it was we were going snorkeling. I don't think it was on part of the plan. We then ended up, we did go, and we didn't have our reef shoes. You know, the ones that you can just go in the water and just get them wet?
Yeah, the $8 ones from Kmart.
Yeah, well, we've got those, but I mean, a lot of people just have like those jelly sandals, or you don't even have to have the proper thing. We had nothing that we could go into the water and get wet. Even an old pair of sneakers would have done. We just didn't have anything that was appropriate to be able to do that thing. So, we couldn't just wing it on the day. And
coral can be very sharp.
Coral on the
very sharp.
The shells, wasn't it? Which
Yes.
is so sharp
and
underneath.
If you get an infection, it can be nasty. You could end up in the medical centre, and especially if you've got children, make sure the children's feet are protected.
And the other one is closed-in shoes. I love my sandals. I do often wear trainers when we're actually getting on board, either a flight or a cruise ship. But I have been guilty of not putting in closed-in shoes. And there are some activities that are just denied to me. You always have your trainers on when you board, so you're okay.
I do. Well, I generally have a few pairs of closed-in shoes anyway. That's the sort of thing I wear. But things like galley tours, for example, a galley tour around the ship requires closed-in shoes. I think we even went on a kayak trip that you needed closed-in shoes as well.
We did. We had closed-in shoes on that occasion, but there were a couple who had arrived and they were just refused to go on a canoe, of all things, a kayak.
I think it's probably more important for the ladies rather than the gentlemen, because because the ladies do tend to wear more sandally type shoes, I think, and I think that's why. And whereas a man may quite often have a pair of closed-in shoes for at least one pair with them anyway. Yeah.
And I admire the Australians no end for. You guys can walk up Everest in your flip-flops. We call them flip-flops. It's incredible. People are just like born in them and just can do amazing things in these flip-flops. However, sometimes you need the closed-in shoes. But now other things on the same vein with things like umbrella. We've been caught out where we know these places are going to rain. We know it. We've done our research. We've packed everything. We haven't packed an umbrella.
Absolutely,
I don't know. You just kind of think umbrella, that's for the city. You don't need an umbrella when you're getting off at some of these islands. And we did, didn't we? We could have really done with
True. I put a jumper in, I think, pretty much every single cruise we go on, even if it's out to like North Queensland or the South Pacific, and I've never needed, but you can bet your life that the cruise we go on, that the temperature drops, I will not have a jacket or a jumper with me.
I never pack one, but I do pack a little pashmina to put over my shoulders, so I've always been okay with that.
Yeah, so be aware of what the weather might be where you're going, and just make sure you've got at least one item of clothing that's appropriate.
Yeah. To say the umbrella thing, I can't believe we just didn't have just even a little one thrown in a case somewhere. This one you're going to like. This has happened to me. It's happened to both of us. So this is special underwear.
That's not happened to me.
Forgetting to take your special underwear. So I was going to say, I had this beautiful special dress for a formal night. So it was like this, all shaped and beautiful and boned with no straps. And I just forgot my strapless bra. Anyway, I thought I could get away with it. I tried putting on the bra with the straps.
I see where you go with this.
Chucking the straps in here.
I was on a different track entirely.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's special underwear. No, I never take that with me. you've thrown me off now, Robert.
Strapless dress.
So the strapless dress, yeah. So I couldn't wear the beautiful dress that I had for formal nights, and I just had to wear one of the other dresses. So I was most upset. But that's it. Yeah. So it's forgetting to put in if you've got. So sometimes like there's halter necks that you have, and you have a halter neck bra or whatever, or you know, your big holdy in knickers, ladies, or something like that, and you just forget to put it in. So that's always one to remember. However,
I was going to say I've thrown you off, so it's my turn to confess now.
You have to confess.
I did put a pair of white shorts in for a white night, and they were quite thin material, and I didn't have any light undies, only some dark undies that you could see through the shorts. So. Yeah, it does happen to all of us. You're right.
You know, Homer Simpson showing through on his butt.
Don't.
Yeah. So for boys and girls, then remember if you have an outfit that you need your special underwear for, remember to put it together with the outfit. This is we're both guilty of this one as well. The next one, this is overestimating the time you've got to fit. So we love to plan. As you know, we love to plan. I have my lists. I love lists and planning and having everything crammed. Get as much as you can cram into a day as possible, whether you're on board the cruise ship or whether you are off. Yeah. Always run out of time. Always.
It's so easy just to end up in a queue that takes longer, or you didn't anticipate a queue, and there all of a sudden you've got half an hour in a queue to get somewhere, and that's half an hour less. It's these things happen. It's just...
Yeah, even if there's just not a queue, just quite often you just can't cram everything into one day. We were on a cruise recently, and the taxi driver, as he was taking us back to the cruise ship, offered us one last stop. It's like one last mint, one wafer thin mint. And we went, yes, okay, let's cram in this extra trip. And we had to get back to the ship, and we just jumped in the back of this cab, soaking wet, still just in our swimwear with a towel wrapped around us, and then just jumped out the cab and got back on board the cruise ship. So we're guilty of it, but it's not a good way. And what I'm learning on the internet from other YouTubers is to build in what is now termed white space, I think it's called white space.
White space.
Yes.
I never
white
heard
space.
That. White space.
In your...
Wriggle room.
Yeah, wriggle room.
Yeah, a buffer.
I like wriggle
white
room.
Space.
White space
anyway.
in your
Okay,
itinerary. So that you have little bits of white space, which means that you're quite happy to sit and do nothing for a certain amount of time.
That's my entire cruise.
It's deliberately putting in, wriggle room. That's what you need to do. This is...
You're not going to come up with some obscure sort of...
This isn't obscure.
Go on then.
We could do a whole video on this one. And this is assuming... Well, it's because you're on holiday, your brain goes into holiday mode. Therefore, the planet is there at your beck and call 24/7.
Yeah, why would a cruise ship take you to somewhere that wasn't open?
Or a cruise or any travel, you're on holiday. Don't holiday places exist like paradise? They never close.
Unless you go to a city that's got a religious holiday or a public holiday or a siesta time.
And this is it. Even in Australia, all the states have different public holidays on different days. So you have to therefore bear in mind that if you are going to a different country or a different state, they may have a public holiday on the day that you are arriving. Or if you are getting a flight from somewhere to then board a cruise, yet again, you may have planned that you're going to do something or whatever in the time before you get on the cruise ship or the day before. Check out those public holidays. Also, the other thing that we've done is we have arrived to get on a cruise the following day. We went to Sydney, got to Sydney International Airport, and again, huge international airport, and you would assume, or we did, that everything would be available, even taxis. That's another story. That was a nightmare just getting a cab, and it was only about 11 o'clock at night, and then trying to find somewhere to eat. And I don't know, we just kind of went...
Thank goodness for Harry's food truck.
We just kind of went, big city, didn't occur to us that it would be a struggle. And it was Harry's food truck or Macca's, 24 was the only thing open. But there's just so many things we could give examples of this, of things like public transport. You may be travellers that are confident enough that when you get off at the port that you're going to get a little bus to the beach or something. And you may be arriving on a Sunday and it's no service, or the Sunday service ends at sort of 2 p.m. or something. You could go on and on and on about that, but yes.
We won't, because we need to get on with the video.
Assuming that everything is available to you because you are on holiday. I have another one we've fallen foul of. And this is thinking that everywhere sort of now takes credit card. And there are a lot of places that still deal in cash. We're currently looking at a holiday in Japan, and we have a day in Tokyo, and we are really, really surprised that in Tokyo, most of the restaurants require cash.
Yeah, the smaller ones that are just like the family-owned ones, yeah, they do take a lot of cash.
It hasn't thrown us off, but however, we could have quite easily, I don't know, we've just kind of, because we're doing a lot of research, but we could have quite easily just gone and just flash the credit card everywhere and
Flash the credit card. Flash the credit card.
I flash a credit card. I have mine on my phone now. I like to, I flash the phone. And then vice versa is going to places, there are some places that only accept credit card.
That's true. We went to the conflict islands, didn't we? No cash on the conflict islands.
And so we were really, really surprised.
Or card only, should we say?
Yeah. But there was another cruise that we went on, and it was cash only. We did take cash, but we underestimated the amount of cash that we needed. We left a load in the safe. We kind of said, we're not going to do much. We'll maybe get a little trip, and we sort of budgeted how much we were going to spend. So we left all the cash in the safe, and we just took whatever we thought we were going to spend that day. When we got off, there were so many lovely things that we could do. There was like a massage as well as a trip that we could sort of fit in. And we didn't have enough cash, and it would have meant getting the tender and going all the way back to the cruise ship. Luckily, I had ka-ching, money bags, mummy. You're never too old, are you, to cadge off your mum? So we were with my mum and dad, and she whips out and gives her daughter and son-in-law a bit of a help, and we were able to do everything. But anyway. So I guess always overestimate it, really. That's the thing. Is always take a little bit extra. Don't be stingy like I was with ourselves. This happened to me this is about 2 weeks ago. This happened to me, but it does happen all the time. And this is I guess like most of you, my carry-on has wheels. It's a little sturdy case on wheels. And you wheel it everywhere, and you think you look really smart wheeling it. And just forgetting that you can wheel it a lot of places, but you will have to pick it up on occasion or go up and down stairs.
The reason why we take the wheelie ones is because most cruises, in fact, pretty much all of them, certainly we've been on recently, allow you to take a certain quantity of non-alcoholic drinks on in cans. So we usually take our 12 cans of non-alcoholic drinks on, but we put them all in ours wheel on, because it's easier to wheel it along.
Plus sometimes my shoes and my hairdryer and other kind of heavy stuff I think normally goes in there as well.
Easy to wheel along, however.
I can't pick it up. So we were at the security, and the woman at the security, when you have to pick it up and put it on the belt and they send it through the little screening, she starts clapping at me. She starts going, hurry up. And I go into like a bit of you go into that panic, somebody of authority with little badges on starts telling you to do something. And I was trying to pick this up. I couldn't pick it up, nearly hurt my back. And then I just thought, hold on a minute, missus. I'm on holiday and I'm a guest and I'm not hurrying up for anybody. And just waited for Robert to pick it up for me. but on that, we've done it also when we've disembarked as well, that quite often you cannot get in the lifts. They're all off while the crew are either bringing other cases up and down, or they're restocking the bars. So
everybody getting in, going up to the buffet or the cabins. Yeah,
I'm doing this like the X Factor, but they have the little X's on the lifts that you just cannot get in them. So you have to walk up and down the stairs. Not a problem any other time, except when you're lugging your hand luggage. So that's one for me, is to check the weight
with 24 cans of non-alcoholic beverage.
Just make sure that Robert is a few paces in front or behind to give a hand. Otherwise, I just can't manage. Let's just say I've got a little list here. This is my new thing.
New? Not new at all. You've always made lists. That's
I've
how we
always
get by.
made
We
lists.
always get by because she makes lists, so we know what to do.
But I have them in little books, and I end up with books all over the place. So now they're on my phone. The trouble is that they're although it's typing and I can actually read it, it's just so small. So I think we've done pretty much everything apart from the final one. And this is Robert claims that this has never happened to him. But I would say that we have done this, and we've taken note of this. And this is when you get that person, and you will all know what I mean when I tell you, the person who knows, the stranger who you've never met, who has this authoritative tone about them and tells you something in a lift or at the bar or in a queue to go in the restaurant or something, and they'll go, "We're not disembarking at the island tomorrow," or "We're getting in late tomorrow. We're not disembarking until 10 o'clock. Or
you don't get the bus here for your tour. You have to go into the...
There you go. So you remember there's always that person, that bloody person that tells you something, and you listen to them, and they tell you something.
Well, we didn't listen to them, thankfully.
Didn't.
Otherwise,
Yes.
we would have missed our tour. And,
But they tell you with great authority, as if they've got a clipboard. The clipboard person that's going to tell you that the restaurant is going to be open till 3 o'clock this afternoon for lunch, and you arrive at 2:30 to find that it's been closed for hours and you've missed lunch or something. So we have been caught out. We then didn't. That was at one occasion where it's like, we're just going to check out our own thing from now on.
Yeah.
Don't change your plans for hearsay. Check it out. Although it is good to share information, because there's nothing worse than somebody telling you something than nobody telling you that's something. What happened on the last cruise?
That's true, actually. Yes, so we took the girls with us, and fair enough, I did tell them that their bags had to be packed and out of the room by 8 o'clock. What I didn't tell them, it was 8 o'clock at night and not 8 o'clock the following morning. So come 8 o'clock, of course, they hadn't even started packing. Anyway, they had to carry their own bags off, so they didn't have too much. It was
They're
only a
young
3-night
enough,
cruise,
they could manage.
But yes, so yeah.
But you can imagine the cries the next morning. I mean, we had to actually have been disembarked by 8 o'clock. I think
we were at 7:30 because we were working, but anyway.
The cries the next morning of, "Nobody told us."
Yeah, that's true, though. I did say 8, I didn't say 8 p.m. So anyway, there we go.
It's yet another one, and I'm sure I have a list this long of where I've gone, "Nobody tell me that. Nobody tell..." Those occasions where there's a piece of information that really you think, don't rely on everybody else to have the information for yourself. You really do need to read and read again and check up on these things, and not you can rely on each other, I guess. Sometimes you have to do it yourself.
Things do change.
Yes.
Like P&O used to queue up for a tender ticket on the morning, and they changed it to book on the app. If you didn't know that you had to book on the app, you'd be queuing up in the morning for a tender ticket while everybody else was off on the tenders, going off on the trips because you didn't know.
Oh,
so,
that's another. That's the final one. But that is my biggest mistake is not considering that you need to get things sometimes like tender tickets the day before.
Sometimes
On some of the cruises, it's the day before, and it's just It's gone past me that I would possibly need to go and get a ticket the day before to get off a cruise.
That's your bonus one.
That's the bonus one, yes. So
Alrighty.
there
Well,
you go.
hopefully.
You see, there's
Hopefully some of these have
giving you a bit of a giggle.
yeah, and also will help. So maybe if you come across a situation, you'll think, yeah, Rob and Alex did this. So maybe it'll help you avoid making some of these mistakes. That's where I was going with this. If you've liked this video, please hit like, please hit subscribe, hit the notification button if you want to see more of our videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. We'll say bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.